I mean, how many times have we said this on the stream? But when you are a professional athlete, when you are making millions of dollars playing a game, set to make maybe hundreds of millions of dollars, I don't know why some people find it so difficult just to be decent human beings. Of course, it is all alleged at this point, but one of the things that we have got to talk about as we begin today's stream is Mr. Rashee Rice. Unfortunately, more news has come out. His ex-girlfriend files a lawsuit against him. Some of the details are brutal, and difficult to look at. And may I just remind you guys that this is coming off the back of some of the details there from Sam Monson, who tweeted from Jesse Newell. But this is coming off the back of last year's incident, or 2024, right? Remember last year he was suspended 5 games, obviously for the hit and run incident. The lawyer for Rashee Rice, Sean Lindsay, made a statement. The statement, I believe, doesn't cover the entirety of the accusation, so I'm not sure exactly what their game plan is there. And then ultimately, what I would encourage everyone to do when you have a moment is to go show some love to Drew Davenport. Drew Davenport is a lawyer who has covered the Rashee Rice case and honestly a lot of legal cases really well in the past. So his stuff is always worth reading. However, his conclusion was surprising to me, and his conclusion was that he doesn't think, if you can go read it in detail if you like, but he doesn't see a suspension in 2026 unless there are new developments or criminal charges. Obviously, it's a little bit different because it's a civil case. I'm very curious to see what the NFL will do. I would like to remind you guys that, and Drew goes on to say, like, look, he's a toxic asset to have right now. A couple things that I would like to remind y'all about, and we're not going to dive too far into the Rashee Rice stuff because I have a video coming out about it here soon. But let's remember, okay, Rashee Rice was charged and pled guilty, to the hit and run incident. He's currently on a 5-year probation. He has to serve 30 days in jail at some point. And I'm just really curious to see how the NFL reacts to this, with it being a DA situation, with a player that is already, on 5 years probation. I'm really curious to see what will happen, but it's unfortunate that these things keep on happening. What's up, guys? Let me know who I'm hanging out with here in the chat. I see NJ Casanova's in the building. We got Nick. Homer is here. We got Rick, Joe. We've got Kyle, says bro's on the Chiefs. He'll be fine in this year. What's up, Scribbles? Welcome in. Scribble says, it would be nice just to not have one player needing Drew Davenport breakdown every year. I know. Like, Drew's probably working overtime now with this case that just came up, unfortunately. What's up, cool man? Welcome into the building. I appreciate y'all being here. What's up, Matthew and Bree? Welcome into the building. All right, y'all. We are going to do a 2026 rookie mock draft today. And we're going to use one of the latest mock drafts. This was released like a couple days ago. This is from PFF. It is a 3-round mock draft. If you'd love to follow along with me, I'll put it there in the chat. As Mike says, Rice is now on the block in the Zeus League. They drafted, what was that on Monday? And now Mike is like, hey, I want to trade Rashee Rice, which, yeah, difficult situation to deal with. But we're going to step into the world of Gordon. Gordon McGinnis is the one who made this mock draft. So this is Gordon's world today, and we're all living in it. He gets to make the rules. We have to abide by them blindly. I appreciate y'all being here with us. If you want to get into today's mock draft, then the best way to do so is to join our Discord. And if you've never joined our Discord before, I'll have Nightbot send you a link there to join. But once you get into the Discord, you want to find the community under the land tab, okay? Under the land tab, there's just so much useful, helpful resource here in the land Discord community. But underneath it, you will find a mock drafts tab, as there's a mosquito here. Mother, these damn mosquitoes, man. All right, I figured it out. Sorry. Under the land tab, there will be a mock draft channel. I'm going to go ahead and paste. Oh, that's the PFF mock draft. But let me copy this link. And I will paste this link in here. It is first come, first serve. I'd love for you guys to join me. If we don't fill up, I will put it into the YouTube chat. But I always want to give you guys the first go there on Discord. Now, something else that you need to be aware of is on tomorrow night's stream, we will be officially raffling off the spots for Monday's Poseidon League. If you didn't hear, maybe you're just joining after some time away, we are doing a weekly real Dynasty draft for land communities, for promo code land members. And if you want to be a part of that, it's very, very simple. Okay, all you have to do is be an annual Mother Flocker member with the code LAND, and you will be able to enter as many times as you want into these leagues. And the reason these leagues have started is because you guys have wanted me to create these leagues for so long, and we're actually paying people to run them. I want to make sure that they're great leagues. So I say that because if you haven't yet, go to your Flock Fantasy website, go to my account, sync your Discord, because then you'll find the Land Leagues tab, where every week there will be a brand new league that you can join. So make sure you guys submit for tomorrow. We'll do the raffle tomorrow night. Would love for y'all to be a part of it. Joel is going to be commissioning those leagues. And if you decide that you want to become an annual Mother Flocker member, and one of your main goals is to get into one of these leagues, please DM me. I'd love to fast track you right into a league. But obviously you will get all of the other membership perks like the playbook, the war room, the hotline, etc. So yeah, Discord is a very great place to be a part of. There's a lot of information. You can get the free FastDraft credit as well. Free $10 for land members. We've got information on the trade dial, and there's just a lot of helpful resource there. But it looks like we have 3 spots remaining. Again, in the mock drafts tab, you will see the link here to join. While we are waiting on that, I want to let y'all know we do have a giveaway today. All right, so if you want to join today's giveaway, very simple. We are going to be offering a live team playbook, and because it's Gordon's world and we're living in it today, he's making the mock draft, that is the code word. All right, so all you have to do to enter is like the stream, type Gordon in the chat, and you're going to be entered to win a live team playbook. That's as simple as it can possibly get. Like I said, we're looking at this latest PFF 3-round mock draft for today's rookie draft, and we're living in Gordon's world. Gordon is the commissioner. Gordon is the creator. He is the one that makes the sun rotate in this world, okay? So let's see what kind of world he's cooked up here. And let's, again, as an exercise, if this were to be real life, how would it impact Dynasty rookie drafts? I think you guys are going to be surprised by this one, because there's a lot. If this world were to be true, then rookie picks might gain value. Okay. All right. So Mendoza goes at number 1 to the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, right after that, he has Caleb Downs going to the Jets at 2 overall. Now, I looked this up today. This would be the highest a safety has gone in the NFL draft since 1991, when Eric Turner was drafted 2nd by the Browns. But in recent memory, safeties to go top 10. Sean Taylor, may he rest in peace, one of the greatest of all time. Probably my favorite player of all time, actually. Number 5 overall, Eric Berry in 2010. Jamal Adams in 2017 went 6th overall to the Jets. So it's rare, but it can happen. Next offensive player that comes off the board, though, is Carnell Tate. He goes at number 6 to the Cleveland Browns. So that is the world we're living in today. But then a landing spot that we don't see often, but is a real possibility, Jeremiah Love to the Washington Commanders. As a Commanders fan myself, I wouldn't enjoy this. It's not any shade on Jeremiah Love. It's just our defense is truly awful. I would much rather go through the bargain bin for a running back than spend a first-round pick on them right now. I know how good of a prospect Jeremiah Love is, but our defense is truly like historically awful last year. We have the worst linebacking core, probably the worst secondary, so we have no edge rushing help at all. I'd be upset, but if we were to live in this world, it's an incredible landing spot for Jeremiah Love. Let's be honest, for Dynasty, I mean, this would only get you excited about him being attached to Jaden Daniels. At number 9, Mekhi Lemon to the Kansas City Chiefs. I get the feeling with today's news, and I could be completely wrong, I get a feeling that the Chiefs are going to very much entertain receiver at 9 if there's one that they like. Maybe all the ones that they like are gone. Maybe the Saints and the Browns and the Titans and the Giants all take receivers, and the Chiefs aren't left with anything realistic. But I could absolutely see the Chiefs, with everything going on with Rashee Rice, looking at that 9th overall pick and saying, I think we need to have a receiver that is level-headed, that we can build around long-term, that we can make sure we don't waste Patrick's prime with, right? At 11, Jordan Tyson goes to the Miami Dolphins. Obviously, remember the Dolphins released Tyreek Hill. They also released Nick Westbrook-Ikhine. He's no longer on the team. They pretty much released, about 10 to 15% of their entire roster. Dallas Cowboys go Arvell Reese. Linebacker comes off the board. Now we get Denzel Boston in the top 15. I haven't seen that this entire year, okay? But we do see Boston from Washington go into the Ravens. I don't like the landing spot. However, I do want to recognize that with a brand new coaching staff, we can't be for sure exactly how they will run an offense. So I don't want to just rule the next Ravens receiver, off my board. But I will say that it's not exactly my favorite landing spot historically. I mean, I remember when Zay Flowers was drafted, I was really upset that he went to the Ravens because I just don't like being attached to Lamar Jackson unless you're a tight end. Kind of still feel the same way, but I want to give some grace because, again, it's a brand new coaching staff. It's the first year in Lamar's career where he's got a different head coach. Who knows what the philosophy will be? Who knows if they're going to let him air it out or not, right? But the next offensive player that comes off the board here is Omar Cooper to the Buffalo Bills. So Omar Cooper ends up being that late first round pick to the Buffalo Bills. Obviously, Omar Cooper is like everyone's favorite sleeper wide receiver. Well, he's not really a sleeper anymore, is he? Like, we can't really be going around and be like, oh, Omar Cooper, I'm going to get him in the second round now of the rookie drafts. No. Everybody knows about Omar Cooper at this point. It's a possibility he goes in round 1. He's a very good player. I think he'd probably be the best receiver in Buffalo day 1 if this were to happen, so that would be very intriguing to me, no doubt about it. At 27, Casey Concepcion comes off the board. It does look like Juwan Jennings is set to be a free agent. It doesn't look like the Niners are going to bring him back. They were too far apart on contract extensions this last offseason, and I don't think they're going to get close this offseason. Brandon Ayuk obviously going to move on, so Casey Concepcion goes to the Niners. Obviously, a lot of people have compared him to Deebo Samuel. I don't love that comp personally, but I think it's a good landing spot for him to try and develop there. I mean, think about the receivers that they would have then. Really, I mean, it would be just like Ricky Pearsall, Casey Concepcion. I mean, let's think this through logically for a second. If they were to truly move on from both Ayuk and Jennings, then yeah, I mean, it's Slick Ricky, it's Kendrick Bourne, it's maybe they bring back DeMarcus Robinson, and Concepcion would actually step into a role pretty instantly. Ty Simpson does sneak into the first round here. He goes at pick 29. So that is fun. Kenyon Sadiq as well to the Broncos. Obviously, we haven't found our Joker yet in Denver. Could that be Kenyon Sadiq? Well, potentially. Either way, it's definitely going to help their run game from day 1. So in this world, I mean, we rarely see this in mock drafts right now. But in this world, and again, I don't know if Gordon plays Dynasty football. I assume he looks like a guy who would enjoy Dynasty football to me. But, I mean, this is a very Dynasty rookie draft friendly first round mock draft. I mean, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got, what was the next one? Was it 5 at Boston? 5 players, 6 Tyson, 7 Lemon, 8 Love, 9 Tate, and 10 Mendoza. So you have 10 players that have first round draft capital. We're really not seeing that often. I mean, typically we're seeing 7 or so, 7, 8 maybe, around there. So this is definitely a very fantasy-friendly first round. Let's jump into the second round where we see Chris Bell to the Titans. Like Chris Bell, I still don't understand him being drafted this high coming off the ACL. I don't think teams are going to be that patient unless they're obsessed with the prospect, surely. Next offensive player we get off the board, we have to wait all the way to pick 53 where Jeremy Bernard goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Eli Stowers at pick 54, I'm assuming replaces Dallas Goedert. That's a very intriguing landing spot for him. Jonah Coleman is the lone and barely sneaks in, the last pick of the second round, the lone running back. Now, we saw reports come out this week that it doesn't look like the Seahawks are going to re-sign Ken Walker, which would tell us that potentially Jonah Coleman's the starting running back for the Seahawks day one. I would be interested to see how high Jonah Coleman is going to go in a mock draft like this today. Into round 3, Garrett Nussmeier is a Cardinal. Cole Payton is a Brown. Elijah Surratt to the Saints in round 3. I hate that he goes that late, but this is the world we're living in. The Bucs get Max Clare. Drew Aller to the Colts. Michael Trigg to the Falcons. Jadarian Price does go off the board in round 3 to the Vikings. Zachary Branch is a Panther. Malachi Fields is a Steeler. Carson Beck to the Dolphins. Skylar Bell to the Dolphins as well. Chris Brazzell to the Patriots. Jalen Daniels. Why is Jalen Daniels there? Okay, I mean, I don't know. This is an interesting mock draft, but Jalen Daniels to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So that is the first 3 rounds, ladies and gentlemen, and that is the world that we're living in. We are completely full, so let's go ahead and start this. This is a 12-team, 0.5 tight end premium rookie mock draft. Slade says whoever made this mock draft needs to be banned from doing mocks. You can take it up with Gordon, all right? If you want to yell at someone, Gordon is the person that you can yell at, all right? Don't yell at me. We've got Chet Holmgren here at the 101. No, kidding. Colin Holman, welcome, as Jeremiah Love off the board at the 101. Again, that landing spot to the Commanders, very enticing. They were one of the best offenses in Daniels' rookie year. Took huge steps back in 2025, but I think there is some positive regression on the way. So Jeremiah Love could be a big, big part of that. What's up, Albert? Welcome in. That's true. Washington does need pass catchers, and it is also true that Love is a pass catcher. He's a great pass catcher out of the backfield. That's very, very true. As we get Jeremiah Love, Mekhi Lemon, Carnell Tate, Jordan Tyson, all off the board. Honestly, in this mock draft, I don't know where do you guys stand, but it feels like these are all pretty fantasy-friendly landing spots. Carnell Tate to the Browns, I know it's not that exciting, but I say fantasy-friendly because you know without a doubt that he is the number one weapon in that offense pretty much from day one, right? Obviously, you've got Harold Fannin there, but you don't draft Carnell Tate 6 overall and not feature him is the way I would view it. Mekhi Lemon to the Chiefs is an awesome landing spot. And you'd assume that he would be playing in the slot. I don't know, again, how that would work with Rashee Rice, but as Rashee Rice plays a lot in the slot. Jordan Tyson to the Dolphins with them moving on from Tyreek Hill. I mean, I like these landing spots here. I really do. I honestly do. However, I'm on the board at the 105. There is a clear tier break after this in my summation, in my humble opinion. And I am going to go ahead and grab Fernando Mendoza. Superflex League, don't forget, he goes to a team that had a terrible 2025, but they've added Clint Kubiak as the head coach. You know, you've got Ashton Genty there. You've got Brock Bowers there. Mendoza is certainly, in this scenario, would be looking to turn around the franchise as quickly as he possibly could. But again, appreciate y'all being here. Cool Man says, I wanted to go Tyson so bad, but Lemon to the Chiefs is too good. Yeah. I kind of agree. Like, Lemon to the Chiefs is difficult to say no to. Slade says, Gordon doesn't know ball. Mike says, I still feel like Tate is the best wide receiver coming out. You know, that's been how I've had it ranked since December. I've been very clear that I don't mind which receiver you have at number 1. But for me, it has been Tate at number 1 this entire time. I don't care between the big 3 which way you're going to lean, but Tate has been my number 1 receiver since December. I've said this before, but I think there's real, again, like ceiling outcome is he becomes like a Justin Jefferson level player. This big, lanky outside X, ridiculous hands, great route runner, uses the body well, great boundary awareness. Now, obviously, when I have a ceiling comp, that doesn't mean that it's the most likely outcome, right? I mean, a more likely outcome could be a George Pickens, a T. Higgins, one of those type of players. But Tate is just, I think he's built for the NFL. I really do. So I don't mind if you want to go Lemon. You know, you can argue Lemon if you want to go through the route of like he's the engine of an offense. I could totally see that being fair as well, for sure. Now, Omar Cooper comes off the board at the 106. And, you know, I don't dislike the pick. Remember, he did go in the first round to the Buffalo Bills. I just wonder, like, how do we view this late first round this year? Do we give the same love and respect to the Omars and the Concepcions as first round picks when we're looking like at draft capital historically? Or do we factor in that it's not exactly the best class? I don't know. I don't know how to rank that just yet, or how to adjust for that just yet. But I could definitely see a scenario where Omar Cooper could be the number one receiver for Josh Allen, and that's very enticing. So there's a lot of merit there. For me, I thought the 106 would have been Jonah Coleman. Where would you guys sit there? If you're on the board at the 106 and you had to make that decision, what is most of the chat doing there? Because it's a hard call. Let me ask, who would you draft at the 106? Would it be Jonah Coleman? Would it be Omar Cooper? I guess maybe even Concepcion or even, I guess, yeah, Denzel Boston was drafted before all of them, and he didn't go off the board until the 109. So he was actually the last of the four. And, you know, it makes sense because none of us like that landing spot. But clearly that would tell us the NFL probably likes him more than these other guys. It's hard to kind of weigh that up. But for me, looking at a guy like Jonah Coleman and thinking about it through the lens of historical draft capital, I just think it's a far safer bet to bet on that second round running back than to bet on a late first round wide receiver. Let's pull up the historical hit rates from last year, and I need to refresh these one of these weeks for you guys. Oh, that's cool. I didn't even know it had like a pick update thing going on the draft board. But remember this from last year's draft guide. We have talked about this religiously for the past 3 years, how important draft capital is when you're considering who you're drafting. Draft capital is undefeated, more than almost any other metric that you can ever find, right? But a second round running back has a 71% hit rate. 71% hit rate. First round receivers sit around 53%. And if you go even further, like into superstar status, still second round running backs have a far higher hit rate. And just thinking about Jonah Coleman, you know, in this world, if truly the Seahawks move on from Ken Walker, which is a possibility from what we're hearing, I'm shocked, but it's a possibility. And that's what Gordon is surmising here, I guess. I would say Coleman would probably end up being my pick there if I had to make that pick today. But it's a fun conversation to have. Sadiq off the board at the 110. We get Jadarian Price at the 111, who, remember, went in the third round. We have Chris Bell, Elijah Surratt, Ty Simpson. Gotta be the steal of the draft from outs here at the second spot. Again, I mean, why would we not draft Ty Simpson, who gets drafted to the Rams, who gets to play with Puka Nacua and Sean McVay long term? I mean, I'm the biggest Elijah Surratt fan you'll ever find, but I'm not taking Elijah Surratt over Ty Simpson in this world. Ain't no way. Okay, let me look at my options here for my pick. I don't think there's any first-round picks available anymore at this point. They've all been selected. I do like Kenyon Sadiq there at the end of the first. Okay. Just looking at my options here. Jadarian Price is gone. Yeah, no other running backs really to choose from here. Yeah, I think the only option here is probably Jeremy Bernard. I'll grab Jeremy Bernard there at the 205. Remember, in this world we're living in, Jeremy Bernard ends up being a second-round pick to the Pittsburgh Steelers. So he comes off the board there. And don't love kind of buying into the Steelers here. But it is going to be a new offense. It won't be Arthur Smith anymore. And honestly, the Steelers' offense as a whole might be a buy low this offseason, given just how frustrating it was to watch last year and what all of our expectations probably are because of that. Okay, so the poll, by the way, in the chat, I asked you guys, who would you take at the 106? Right now, 38% of you guys voted for Jonah Coleman. 17% voted Omar Cooper. 24% Concepcion and 21% Boston. So if the chat had it its way, Jonah Coleman would have been the 106. Then Concepcion the 107. Then Boston the 108. And actually the chat would have put Omar Cooper at the 109. I'm surprised by that. I didn't think Omar Cooper would fall that far, personally. Jay Mousy says, if Coleman is a Hawk, I'd take Coleman over Mendoza. Okay. That's a lot of confidence there. That's a lot of confidence. Slade says, Boston top 15. I guess he's the 106. Scribble says, running back in a good offense with second-round capital. Yeah, okay. So a lot of people are feeling that way. Homer says he's so out on Metcalf. See, that's the thing. I feel like Metcalf might be a buy. Like right now, if you can send like a mid-second for Metcalf, I just wonder why we don't. If you're a contender, why not? With the brand new offense kind of being installed there. Am I the only one who feels that way? Because right now, nobody likes Metcalf. I just wonder how we can take advantage of that. What's up, Ryan? Ryan says, Zach, would you send a late 28... What? A late 28 what, Ryan? For Travis Hunter, or are you out on him? Yeah, I don't want to talk about it too in depth right now, and I say that because I have a video coming out about Travis Hunter early next week. He will be one of the featured players in that video. So I'm going to hold some thoughts on that. What I will say is, if you're in any league where people are sending him for seconds, it's great. Like right now, I think there's definitely a line with Travis Hunter. And if you guys want to see like real trades that are happening in the Dynasty community, you can go to the trade calculator and then hit find similar trades. And then you'll find a whole bunch of real trades that are happening in real leagues. That's what this database is, right? So, for example, someone got Travis Hunter for a second-round pick today. We saw someone get the 107 in Hunter for Stroud. There's a lot of trades where Travis Hunter for Tony Pollard, a second and a fourth. These are real trades in real leagues, I promise you. 204. I don't think there's any harm in shopping for Travis right now because the price is... I mean, what the hell is this? Parker Washington and 2/3. The price is so affordable. 303, 403, and the 503 and a third. Someone just threw as much trash as they could. What is Tyreek Hill doing in a trade? Now, would I spend a 27 first on Travis Hunter? Probably not. Probably not. But it all comes down to the risk and the reward. Scribble says that he bought Hunter for the 208. I mean, see, like that kind of stuff, I would say take advantage of that. As off the board goes Max Clare, Emmett Johnson, and Antonio Williams. So yeah, I think it comes down to the price, honestly. Like every player. But honestly, I might be interested in just seeing what Rashee Rice costs in all of my leagues. Or, not Rashee Rice, Travis Hunter. I mean, let's just see. If I were to send a a trade for a second-round pick in all of our leagues, I mean, a lot of these guys are probably watching now. What would be the chance of me getting any of these accepted? Let's say I sent the 212 and Malik Washington. Sure. Let's try. Let's go to the Bravo League. Well, it's probably, none of these are probably going to happen, but why not have some fun here and see what's possible? Darth is a pretty experienced player. But again, like, the people who own Travis Hunter are lying straight to your face if they tell you they're not at all panicked. Like, what if I add Jalen Coker here and a 27 second? Let's send it. Let's send it. These are the type of trades that I think you guys go just see, kind of test the waters in your leagues, all right? Because there's a line. Like, I'm not willing to spend a first-round pick right now, but I am totally willing to test the waters. Tony Pollard, and do I have a second? A second in 2027. Sure, send it. Now I'm just spending time on the stream shopping myself. Let's see. What kind of second round pick do we have here? We don't have a second round pick here, but what if I did like the 301 and the 312 and I sent something like, I mean, Malik Washington we just talked about. Yeah. Malik Washington, send it. Let's go to Echo here. Travis Hunter. Again, these are the type of deals, like, you never know where someone's panic level is on a player, right? And there's no harm. Ooh, the 202. 202 is interesting. I think I would do that. I think I'd take that risk reward. I think I would take that risk reward right there. I don't think I need to add anything onto that. That's probably like a good baseline where he is right now. Let's send that. Let's see what C-Bomb thinks. I think that's probably where people are right now. I don't think people are willing to send a first. And I think if they get something close to a first, people are definitely willing to entertain it. Okay, in this league, we've got plenty of capital. I'll send you... I can't send my second, but we'll send Captain Barney's second. Actually, let me double check before I do that what Captain Barney's team looks like. Yeah. So let's try and send Captain Barney second. Where's Mighty at? We'll send Captain Barney second. And is there something like Torrey Horton I can put into this to make it... You know, it's a young player. Who knows what's possible with that young player? These are the type of trades I'm sending everywhere. I'm on the clock here. Is there any player that I'm like relatively interested in? I do like Eric McAllister, so we'll grab Eric McAllister here. By the way, Zachariah Branch went off the board. Antonio Williams, my guy. Skylar Bell. Do y'all want to do another rookie draft? I can do another rookie draft if y'all want to jump in. Get a whole new group of people in here if y'all are keen. Let me know. Should I keep sending trades? Do you want me to keep sending trades? I'm curious to see if we can get anything done here on the stream. Homer says, if I had Hunter, I'm holding, which I think is fair. Sparrow says, I just did a startup, and Hunter went in the late 10th. I mean, like, in a way, I kind of understand. Like, there's so much uncertainty. I have a video coming out about Travis Hunter soon. You guys will kind of see where I stand. Wherever you stand on Travis Hunter, I think is valid. If you're incredibly concerned, I think that's valid. Let's say, like, Jalen Knoll. I love Jalen Knoll. And, like, the 211. Send it. Let's go to hotel here. Travis Hunter, let's see, in the hotel Holiday Inn, 209. Let's say the 209 and... I don't know what else to add to this. That's the problem. Brenton Strange. Yeah, send it. India League. Oh, I have Travis Hunter here. Someone send me a first-round pick, please. In the India League. Travis Hunter. Okay, what do we have to offer you? What sort of picks have we got? We got the 209. 209 Barner. I actually saw that deal exactly happen in a real league. I saw that exact deal happen in a real league. 209 Barner. I don't think that's crazy. We could also add Malik Washington into this. All right. A couple more leagues here. Let's send a couple more offers. True Reels has Travis Hunter here. If I sent you... I love Jalen McMillan, but... What about Jacoby Myers and the 301? Yeah, I like that. I'd be willing to risk that. Again, low risk, type of moves here is what I would suggest if you're going to go out and trade for him. And I have no problem if every single person that I've sent a trade to comes back and says, I'd rather just hold him. It's not worth it. Or I'm not that concerned. Fair enough. Let's do Coker in this one, for example. Coker in the 210. But there's absolutely zero harm in just throwing out a trade and seeing what people think. Homer says, how many leagues are you in? Dynasty, I think like 14, somewhere around there. But every year I'm typically in around, like not including best ball, around 24 or so leagues total when you include redraft and dynasty. Easy says, I just got offered Anthony Richardson for this year's 407. Snapped accept, right, regardless of opinions on him, worth the minimal risk. I have no opinion on, honestly, Easy, I have no opinion on Anthony Richardson whatsoever. I mean, you're probably just buying Trey Lance 2 years ago. Like being as blunt as possible. I don't have an opinion. Do you guys want to jump into another rookie draft? Should I fire a new one up? Let me know. Let me know where you guys stand if you want to jump into another one. We do have a giveaway tonight. We're giving away a live team playbook. All you have to do to enter is simply like the stream and then type Gordon into the chat, and you will be entered into today's giveaway. Scribble says there's some uncertainty, but the risk is completely baked into the price at this point, which is fair. Sparrow says that Parker Washington went before Hunter in that draft. Sheesh. People are wanting a startup. Yeah, honestly, I don't mind. We can do a startup. I'll put it at a 30-second clock, though. I'll do it as a 30-second clock. What I want you guys to vote on is tomorrow. What do you want tomorrow? Tomorrow, what I currently have planned is doing my top 50 wide receiver rankings as a stream. You guys might remember I've done that in the past. For example, we did it with the quarterbacks not too long ago. We've done it with tight ends before as well. That was my plan for tomorrow, but I want to hear where you guys want the stream to go tomorrow. See, we did that last time. It was really fun. That's my current plan, is to do my top 50 wide receiver rankings. But I want to know what you guys think. The other option is we can just do a startup tomorrow as well. It's always fun doing a startup. You can never do too many. But I thought it could be really fun for me to present where I currently view the wide receivers. And honestly, Rashee Rice, there will definitely be some conversations to be had about Rashee Rice with this news, because he has fallen in my rankings. But it's always fun to kind of talk that out with y'all on the stream. Can't do both because it would just take too long, Homer. I don't want to stream for like, 6 hours. I mean, that might be the wrong answer, but it's the honest answer. just going to be transparent with you. All right, let's start up. Let's do a startup draft here. Dynasty, startup, super flex, 30-second clock. Okay. let's go ahead. Oh, I can cancel this because I know you guys love the 3rd round reversal. So make sure I'll make sure I put that on. Superflex, 3rd round reversals on. Okay. All right. Again, if you guys want to join this mock draft, as any mock drafts ever, best way to do so is to join our Discord. All right. And then under the land tab, you will see the mock drafts tab. I'll put that link there. It is first come, first serve. You guys are more than welcome to join. And by the way, if you don't have a free account yet on the Flock site, that is as simple as it is to jump into one of these drafts with us. We've got plenty of people doing drafts all the time offline as well. So if you want to create a free account on the Flock site, sign up using the promo code LAND. You get a free account. You'll be able to jump into any of these drafts with us. And yeah, so let's do a Superflex Dynasty startup mock draft. And let's just pretend that this is the real world as well. Like we'll use Gordon's mock draft to draft these rookies. Okay, so when you draft these rookie picks, tell us who it is. And this is where the landing spots will be for today. All right. Let's go ahead and let's start this bad boy up. 12-team Superflex, 0.5 tight end premium. Let's roll with those settings. Appreciate y'all being here. Again, if you are a promo code LAND annual Mother Flocker member, then heads up, we are doing live Dynasty community leagues. Every single week you have a chance to be a part of one. All you have to do to enter those weekly raffles is sync your Discord on the Flock Fantasy site. So go to my account, sync your Discord. You'll unlock this Land Leagues tab. I can put this form in the chat for you guys now if you want to sign up for the Poseidon League. We will do the raffle for the Poseidon League tomorrow. But again, keep in mind, if you're going to fill this out, you have to be a Land Annual Mother Flocker member to get into a league. So it's just a benefit, a little perk for those people who support us. All right, Drake May comes off the board. Josh Allen, Bijan Robinson, Jamar Chase, JSN, Puka, Jahmyr Gibbs, all gone. I'm going to have a difficult decision here, I think. Wait a second. Does Expert Consensus have the 101 ranked ahead of Malik Neighbors? Or am I reading that wrong? If I'm reading that right, Expert Consensus has a 101 over Malik Neighbors. Wow, okay. Typically, I don't like going quarterback in the first. But you guys are leaving me Lamar Jackson at the 110, and I think I got to draft him. So I'm going to take Lamar Jackson at the 110 there. I am shocked to see Patrick Mahomes go that high, though. I think the highest I've seen Mahomes go in a draft recently is the 3rd round. 3rd round sounds right. Yeah. That's pretty high, not gonna lie. This is the draft board from Monday's Real Draft in the Zeus League. Let's see where Mahomes went then. In this league, Mahomes went at the 303. Right here at the 303, if you guys can see that. All right. So we do get Amon-Ra, Lamb, Neighbors, and the 101 all off the board. I was definitely hoping to grab Amon-Ra or Neighbors. Now that is not a possibility, I am probably going to go with Justin Jefferson here. I'll grab Justin Jefferson at the 203. So we start Lamar Jackson, Justin Jefferson. Imagine I told you this time last year in the offseason that you could start a draft with Lamar Jackson and Justin Jefferson. Everybody would be like, no way, that's not possible. That's how quickly everything can change. That's just how quickly everything can change. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to get into tonight's queue, by the way, after this draft, I will jump into doing some playbooks, answering some trade questions. So if you want to get your team reviewed tonight, you can jump into the queue. A couple ways to get a team playbook from myself, customized review of your Dynasty team, where after I do the live review, you get a playbook later on. A couple ways to do so. First way is by either becoming an annual Mother Flocker member with the code LAND. It's one of the many perks. The second way is by buying one a la carte. Completely up to you. It looks like we've got 55% of the chat saying let's do top 50 wide receiver rankings tomorrow, so we'll do that. All right, so after Jefferson, we have Genty, and then Omarion Hampton goes ahead of Devon Achane. Wow. Little bit surprising, I'm not going to lie. Just a little bit surprising there. I mean, I love Omarion Hampton, but Devon Achane, I feel, needs to go ahead of him. I don't know. Maybe I haven't adjusted enough. We got a counter offer on Travis Hunter, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what the counter offer is. Oh, it's a 27 first. Yeah. Sorry, C-Bomb. So one counter so far on my Travis Hunter offers. And they wanted a first, which honestly I think it's fair. All right, in the second round, Caleb goes at the 206, Bowers, Achane, McBride, Burrow at the 210, London, McMillan, and then we have the third round reversal here. As Jalen Hurts is a third round pick. Jeez Louise, that's crazy. Okay. Jalen Hurts, Jackson Dart off the board. Not going to lie, Jackson Dart is definitely the pick that I wanted to make. I'm not really sold on anything here. Wow, this sucks. I don't really want to be here. I'm just going to grab Justin Herbert then. Yeah, I'll just grab Herbert. I'm not sold on anyone. I'll just take my second quarterback. I haven't really been building teams this way this offseason, but I just didn't want to reach on a different position just to do so. 102 comes off the board. So I'm trying to remember where those picks went in Monday's real draft. Let's have a look. So in the real draft on Monday, the 101 went at the 209. So 7 picks later, the 102 went at the 302, which is pretty much where it went here. It went at the 304, so pretty close. Mike says it's the McDaniels effect with Omarion Hampton going in the second round, which I don't think you're wrong, Mike. I think you're onto something there, my friend. Nomad says, I have Travis Hunter and nobody wants to give me fake value for him. At best, I got the 201. Right, yeah. So are you saying, Nomad, that you would you have taken any of the trades that I sent just then on the stream? Or are you wanting a first round pick? Because to say fair value, I mean, to be fair, there's enough risk that I don't think anyone's really comfortable sending a first round pick for Travis Hunter right now. So defining fair value is really difficult for a player like Travis. Again, you still have to answer the question, how much offense will my wide receiver play? Which is like insane to think that we even have to ask that question. It's truly insane to think that that's a question that even has to be asked. But it is, unfortunately. London at the 211. I agree. I agree with Ryan here saying that's a little bit low. I was surprised to see him go that low. But I guess Hampton got pushed up a little bit. You could make an argument for him to go there with all the guys ahead of him. So we see Olave, Pickens, Trevor, James Cook, Bucky Irving. Wow, so Bucky Irving slots right back up into the 3rd round. What do we think, guys? I mean, I'm a big Bucky guy. 3rd round seems a little rich, but I don't know. Maybe I'm overreacting to that. We get Loveland in the 3rd. It's always tough for me to see Loveland, you know, kind of 1 round after the McBride and the Bowers go, but obviously we all love the guy. Nico comes off the board, the 103. Jonathan Taylor, Garrett Wilson, Emeka Egbuka, Brock Purdy off the board. Purdy's great value in round 4. We see Ladd McConkey, Trev Henderson. I mean, some of these quarterbacks. Bo Nix in the 4th round. Damn. Oh, we have a message tab? I never knew we had a message tab. When did that happen? I had no idea. Y'all are going to mess around and make me take three quarterbacks in the first three rounds here. Yeah, if you look at my rankings, I do not have Rashee Rice in range here anymore. But expert consensus would still have him in range. I don't know, man. I could be overreacting to the Rashee Rice stuff. Okay, there goes Bo Nix. I was genuinely probably going to draft him at the 410 if y'all let him slide that much further. What's going on with the Bo Nix hate? Why are we letting Bo Nix fall to the 409? Anyway. I am going to grab Breece Hall here. Because I don't care what receiver comes back, but I wanted to make sure and nab Breece Hall before he inevitably probably gets tagged and comes back to New York. And then we will all be sad about it. So Rashee Rice does come off the board. Let's ask Mike. Mike, do you not have any worries about Rashee Rice's future? What do you think? Homer says he loves his receivers. Ryan says we are really thinking best case scenario with all these receivers this year. Yeah, you mean, I'm assuming you're saying like the 102, 103, 104 coming off the board. Honestly, I am a little surprised to see the 103 before Garrett Wilson. That was a little surprising to me. The 105 comes off the board. Maybe I should have picked the 105. Mork says the devs are cooking. My pick selection alert pauses my video. Okay, right. Right. So it looks like we had Jeremiah Love, we had Mekhi Lemon, and then I'm guessing one of these is Mendoza, one of these is a receiver. All right, Dak Prescott. I mean, what a start from Mike. I don't love the Rice pick with everything he's going through right now, and I could be overreacting to that. But if that is a different name than Rice, that's just a stupid good start right there. Okay. I'm probably going to grab a receiver here. Yeah, it's between T and Luther. And I got auto-picked T, so that's fine. I don't mind this start. We're starting to cook up here a little bit. We see 3 receivers off the board in a row. Higgins, Brian, and Marvin. It's Marvin's world. Brady says London and the 103 or JSN and the 109. Probably depends on team construction, but I'd probably keep JSN there. Forbes says Hampton is worthy of a second-round pick before the McDaniels hire. Yeah, I don't have a problem with Hampton going at the 205. That's not what I'm saying, to be clear. I have a problem with him going before Devon Achane. That's really where I was having a problem with. I just think that's little, I don't know, like exactly what Devon Achane has done is what you hope Amarian Hampton will do. You know what I mean? That's fair. Cool Man says wide receivers drafted top 15 just hold value in Dynasty so well. Okay, so Brian Thomas, Marvin Harrison, Jordan Love, Jared Goff, Luther Burden, Tyler Warren. NJ Casanova here has 2 tight ends and 1 quarterback in the Superflex League. Baker Mayfield comes off the board at the 5-10. I really like the 4th and 5th round for quarterbacks. It feels like a real sweet spot this year. I don't know how y'all feel, but if you can grab like one of the elite guys in the first 2 or 3 and then get one of those solid quarterback 2s in the 4th or 5th, you can end up building out some really nice rosters. No, you're good, Phobes. By the way, I thought you typed land because you thought that was the code word for today. We are doing a giveaway, but and it's for a live team playbook, but the code word is actually Gordon, oddly enough. So if you guys want to enter the giveaway, which we'll do here in a second, you can like the stream and type Gordon. And the reason we did Gordon is because he was the creator of today's mock draft. So we're going to give him some love here. Or some hate. Depends on how you felt about his mock draft. I don't really care either way. Zay Flowers off the board. I do like the Chase Brown pick. Depending on what Team 1 does at quarterback, this could end up being a nice squad there. Kyron in the 6 is awesome. Also, Ken Walker at the 607 is awesome. If anything, I thought that the reports that potentially Ken Walker might be on a new team, I thought he would go higher. I didn't think he would fall further. Yeah, I'm going to have to take Jameson Williams here. I don't know why Jameson Williams is being so disrespected lately in drafts, but I'll take him. Yeah, cool, man. I don't understand how Walker comes back to you. Look, I think it's natural to be a little bit worried about Achane. Like McDaniels moves on, but the guy who was calling plays was already a part of the Dolphins last year. I think they know. Maybe I'm giving them too much credit, but I would imagine they understand that their best weapon is Devon Achane and that they're going to use him that way. But again, maybe I'm giving them too much credit. I'm on the clock here. Tucker Kraft was definitely someone I was considering with my next pick. I'm not obsessed with RJ Harvey, but I probably need to grab a second running back, and he's the best option. So I'll grab RJ in the 9th. I don't mind this little squad we're building out here. Lamar, Herbert, Brees, Harvey, Jefferson, Higgins, Jameson. I don't mind. The Chaz is going hard after them rookie picks, by the way. Oh, there it says my name. Makai Lemon was a 102. We know that for sure. Everything outside of that, we have no idea. I got to be honest. Teammate is, look, just my opinion. I think they're having a rough draft here. They may be newer to Dynasty, maybe not. But if it's any help, I think Mahomes was too early there. Earliest I've seen him is late 2nd in recent drafts. I think Cam Ward and Stroud were probably a little bit too early as well. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're reading the board better than me. I don't know. Stafford that early is also kind of surprising, as well as Kyler Murray. Y'all are now pushing these quarterbacks a little high here. Jalen Waddle at the 17. Cool Man says, I agree. 4th and 5th round quarterbacks should be going around earlier. Good values right now, I would say. Really good values. Javonte Williams off the board. Okay, the 101 was Love. The 103 was Tate. The 104 is Tyson. The 105 is Mendoza, which means the 102 would have to be... What was the 102? Was Mekhi Lemon, yeah. Okay, so what is the 106? To the 108. That's what we need to find out here. As Michael Wilson off the board. Vince, I mean, that was a rough round for Vince with all those quarterbacks going with Cam and Darnold and Stroud, Kyler, Stafford. Didn't have a great option at quarterback 2. There's not a team I have where I have Bryce Young at quarterback 2 where I feel comfortable with. I mean, he had a really good start, but the quarterbacks did not really pan out the way he wanted, if we're being honest. Wow, I just realized this is Chet Holmgren's second quarterback here. Kyler and Daniel Jones. That's the quarterbacks he's rocking with there. I like Homer's team, honestly. To get shucked that late, this is about as best case scenario of a team that you can draft, I would say. You need Shuck to continue to hit, but not at all a bad selection there. .109 comes off the board. I still don't know what these picks are from the 106 onward. Sorry. This is where we get to a dead zone, though. This is confirmed dead zone territory. Just feels like every position is a dead zone. Sam Laporta at the 807. That's a really quality pick, honestly. Great pick here from Alts to get Laporta that late. 0.5 premium too. I mean, I like it. Slick Ricky. Slick Ricky's a little sneaky there. Jordan Addison off the board. I keep thinking that Addison might be a buy low, but maybe I'll bring that in a video soon. I will read the board. One person needs tight end. I'll draft Kyle Pitts here. We'll take Kyle Pitts in the 8th. I don't know if he's going to stay in Atlanta or go in free agency, but I like the selection here. Devontae Adams at the 8-11. Always a good pick, Devontae Adams is. One of my guys last year. Wish I had him in the Flock League. He was fantastic. Yep, 33, gonna be 34, but the guy just puts up fantasy points. That's all he does. Cool Man says, do you like Pitts or Laporta more? I was torn. I probably would have gone Laporta. Just knowing that the offense that he's a part of. But I guess it depends on where Kyle Pitts goes in free agency. If he ends up coming back to Atlanta, I don't know if I like that or dislike that more than a different landing spot, honestly. Okay, 106 is Casey Concepcion. 107 is Jonah Coleman. 108 is Omar Cooper. As Jaden Higgins comes off the board. And Gadsden as well. I'll take the 111 here. I want to know what you guys are drafting, though. Who did you guys draft here? Okay, so we have all the way to the 108. Now, the 109 is Jofar. Jofar, who did you draft at the 109? And then the 110. I want to kind of simulate a real-world experience here. JCM in the 9th. Sheesh. Look, without being mean, I mean, Team 8 is having one of the worst drafts I've seen in a long time. And I love JCM, but in a way that you're drafting JCM over the 112 this year. I know we don't like the rookie picks, but I mean, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying, like, I mean, my brother is having a rough time right now at the 108. Ryan says, Zach, I haven't heard you say anything about Gadsden, which surprises me because McDaniels made Jonnu look like a god. Yeah, I'm not personally convinced that the Chargers don't look to add at tight end. I know that might sound crazy to some people, but I could see them being a Kenyon Sadiq team. I could see them adding in free agency. If they decide that indeed Gadsden is the tight end they want to build with long term, I will be all in with Mike McDaniel on the way he schemes it up. But I just am not 100% sold that he's the guy you want out there every snap to improve the run game, for example. So I'm not anti-Gadsden whatsoever, but I'm also not convinced until I see the draft and free agency that they're not going to add to that team. Yeegum says, Bill going crazy this year, top 12 running back. I don't know if it's a troll or if you're being serious, but I respect the conviction. I love Ja'Cory Crosby-Merritt. Y'all know that. But RB24, I don't know. What am I missing? Like, does KTC have him super high or something? I'm a big Ja'Cory Crosby-Merritt guy. I really feel like I am. He's RB39 on KTC, so even like a general consensus site would have that a little bit too high. Kyle's in the building. He says, what's up, Zach? I hope you're having a good night. Now, Kyle has been shunned, and I am not going to speak to Kyle again for the rest of the stream. I don't care if he puts anything in the chat. Now, he who shall not be named was shunned because we were negotiating a trade in the golf league around Mr. Jamar Chase. We were negotiating a trade. We were getting really close. And we had finally gotten to an agreement. And the last thing I heard from he who shall not be named was, okay, yeah, let's do the trade basically. So I send the trade through. And then I'm on a call with someone. And I see a notification on Sleeper that says a trade has been completed. And in my head, it's like, it's my trade. I got Jamar Chase. Unfortunately, I go to the Sleeper chat, and what do I see? I see that Kyle, he who shall not be named, rather, used me as bait to get a different trade done. He basically used me to tell someone else that there was interest in Jamar Chase, and then got a different deal done. So we are not going to speak to him for the rest of the stream. Purely out of solidarity. Just out of respect for myself. He used me as a pawn. Used and abused. Okay, the 110 is Sadiq. 109 is Boston. Then, if I was in that range and we were living in this mock draft, who would I have drafted then? Concepcion was gone. Omar Cooper was gone. I probably would have drafted Ty Simpson if he was available. So let's just say that is Ty Simpson then at my pick there at the 204, was it? Or at the 111, sorry. At the 111. Let's say that was Ty Simpson. Tyler, by far, he got a better deal with someone else for Jamar Chase. I mean, I told him, like, yeah, you got by far the better deal, but... Easy, I already answered this question earlier, my friend. But my answer was, I don't have a strong opinion. I do not care about Anthony Richardson. I think you're basically asking me 2 years ago if you should trade Trey Lance for the 407. I don't really care. I mean, sure, it's a 407. You can take a shot on Richardson. Most likely outcome is you're just going to keep holding him. And that's ultimately what he's going to end up being, is just a guy that you're holding on your roster. I'm sorry. I'm just being real. I just don't have an opinion on Anthony Richardson. Don't really care. Guys, I appreciate y'all being here with me. I do want to get to this giveaway. So this is your last chance to get in the giveaway. If you want to be a part of it, I am giving away a live team playbook. Customized review of your Dynasty football team. From your boy, coming up with customized trade ideas, all that jazz. All you have to do to enter is simply like the stream and type Gordon into the chat. That is the code word for today. And this is your last chance to enter. We currently have 28 entries and counting. 29 entries and counting. So this is your last shot to kind of get in here. Right after that, I am jumping straight into a team review from Scared Babushka. We've also got a trade question there on the site that I'm going to answer. So if you want to get a team review tonight, it's a great time to get yourself in the queue. Absolutely no pressure whatsoever. And then lastly, I really want to let y'all know that this is, tomorrow night on the stream, we're going to be raffling off spots for our Poseidon League. That is a real draft for our land community members. So again, it's for people who are promo code land annual Motherflocker members. I wanted to create awesome leagues for you guys, and that's what we did here. Had our first draft on Monday with the Zeus League, and then tomorrow we are going to raffle off spots for the Poseidon League, our second real league of the offseason. So if you want to be a part of that, make sure you're in our Discord, and if you're a promo code land member, just sync your Discord to the Flock Fantasy website in your account settings, and then you'll see the land leagues tab. But I'll put the link in the chat. Just remember, if you're going to fill that link out and you're not a member, I'm not going to consider you for a league. So just keep that in mind. These leagues are specifically for land annual Motherflocker members to give you guys a little bit more bonus to your membership. Obviously, you also get the playbook, the war room, the hotline, the rookie report, the fast draft credit. But it's just something small that I wanted to add on top that you guys have been asking for quite some time. All right, 37 entries right now. 37 entries. I have not done research on Eli Heinrich yet. I have not. I'm going to be honest with you. I'll be honest, like, scouting this year has been harder than any other year for me, just because every time I go to scout, I'm more convinced that there's not that much in this class. And I know that's hard, and maybe I'm being too harsh. For someone out of Navy to have 51 catches, 941 yards, and 6 touchdowns, that is definitely something I shouldn't just roll my eyes at. 6 foot, 206 pounds. Okay. I'll take a look at him. Oh, wait, he's also a running back? Am I reading this right? I know like all of the military schools have really unique offenses. So wait a second. Is this guy declaring as a running back or a receiver? 1,400 all-purpose yards is impressive. 6.5 yards per carry. Wow, maybe I should take this guy seriously. Maybe this will be the guy that makes me actually interested in the class. I don't know. Maybe. Is he declaring as a receiver, but he's also declaring as a running back? Okay. All right, I'll check him out. I'll give him the time of day. All right, let's do this giveaway. To win a live team playbook. Let's see. The winner is Tin Man 3342. Tin Man 3342. All you have to do to claim your voucher, my guy, is DM me on Discord. I need a screenshot of your YouTube account, and I need your Flock Fantasy username, and I will hook you up, my friend. I appreciate you big time for showing some love to the stream, for being here, for hanging out with us. You guys are awesome. I love hanging out with y'all. Let's jump into some trade questions, some team reviews. Link is in the pinned comment if you want to get a review in tonight. No pressure. Ryan says, it's got to be me one day. Zach, you know how much I deserve it, and no one wants it more than me. If no one wants it more than you, you just got to keep grinding every day. Look at that. 10 Man wants it. He says, let's go. 10 Man wants it. I appreciate y'all being here, though. Okay, Zoinks with the trade question. He says, defending champ traded Adams, the 103, and a late 27 first for Lamb, looking to upgrade RB2. So Is Zoinks in the chat? Are you asking me? You're asking me about this trade, right? I mean, traded Adams 103 and a late 27 first for Lamb. That's pretty expensive for CeeDee Lamb right now, I would say. Look, just being 100% transparent, I don't know if you're looking for feedback on that, but that is a pretty expensive CeeDee Lamb right now based off what I've seen in the market. But you have JSN, Olave, London, Lamb. That's one hell of a receiver room. Jacobs, Gibbs, squad is solid. Really good team, actually. So maybe it won't matter, but that's a hefty price for Lamb right now. As far as RB2, would I send Judkins and McMillan for Genty and Pearsall? I love Genty, but that feels like an overpay to me in a 12-team start 10. Depth definitely matters in a league like this. It's not a 10-team either. I feel like that's the price I would pay for... I don't know. That just feels like too much. Wonder what does the chat think about this? Let's do another poll. I do love me some Ashton Genty, obviously, but right now, if you did a redraft, I think there will be some people who might prefer McMillan. It's not going to be a very a big majority, but there will be some people who prefer that. Zoink says, "Yeah, I had some leftovers, 27 capital, and wanted to get some more hammers on my team. Might just stand pat, not overpay for Genty." Yeah. Yeah. It seems like a little too much. I mean, it's not like you don't already have a great team. And depth is definitely important. I mean, right now you're starting Josh Allen, Justin Herbert. At running back, you're going to go Gibbs and Judkins or Gibbs and Jacobs. At receiver, you're already starting Lamb, JSN. At tight end, you've got McBride, which makes 7. And then you can start 3 more names. Those 3 names would be Olave, London, and Judkins. So if you or Tetero McMillan, but you want at least a couple pieces that you can play around with in and out of your flex spot. So I'm keeping Judkins and McMillan here, but I do love Ashton Genty. I just think it's a little bit too much for me. Hopefully that's helpful, my dude. All right, Mike just submitted a trade question. What's up, Mike? Let's have a look at it, brother. Oh my gosh, this is a blockbuster from Mike. Okay. Mike would be sending away the 110, a 2027 mid to late first, as well as a second, Algier, Pollard, and Sinnott. You'll be getting back Taylor, Monongai, and Laporta. All right, let's look at this a trade like this, and let's just actually look at the pieces that matter. Ben Sinnott doesn't matter. Tony Pollard doesn't matter. I'm going to say this and people will be upset, but what's likely is that Tyler Algier doesn't matter. He's probably going to be signed somewhere in free agency where he's a RB1B or a 2. But sure, there's a possibility that a team signs him and thinks that he's their, number 1 running back. But let's just, for the sake of this, say Algier and Monongai can cancel each other out. So essentially, are you willing to pay the 110, a 27 first, and a late second for Sam Laporta? Oof, this is a pretty close one, honestly. And Jonathan Taylor. This is pretty close. Because the way I'm viewing it is Laporta and the 110 are pretty close to on par for me. I mean, you can even see that in the overall. 89th overall, 82 overall. Let's poll the chat on this one as well. Let's get the community's opinion. It is a contender, he said. Problem is, like, now is the best time to sell Jonathan Taylor. But if you're a contender, I don't mind buying him either. This is pretty even. It truly is. If you're going to buy Jonathan Taylor, it's going to cost at least a first plus. You know, so I don't think that this is that crazy. This seems pretty fair. I'll take the Jonathan Taylor side if you're a contender. That context is definitely important. I mean, you're going to add Sam Laporta. There's no tight end premium, but he's a starting tight end. You're going to add Jonathan Taylor, and you're getting rid of a lot of, like, who knows type of assets. So this is not a counter, but I am basically saying, yeah, I'm fine to go take the Jonathan Taylor side of this, Mike. And in fact, almost 90% of the people in the chat also agree. Tin Man, yeah, you got to message me on Discord, my brother. I mentioned that when you won there. I put my username in the chat there. Message me on Discord. Send me a screenshot of your YouTube account. Or, you know what you can do right now is just you can type into the chat your Flock Fantasy username. And I can hook you up. Why don't you just give me your Flock Fantasy username here and I can do it while we are live. All right, should we jump into the team review for Scared Babushka? Chief Bigfoot. If you're a land member, I can get this to you right now. If not, I need to ask the devs. So let me just double check. I don't see you on my end, so you might be a member of a different promo code. So I need to message the devs. Okay, so I messaged the devs, so they should be able to do that. I just don't know exactly what time they're going to reply to me, but yeah, if you had signed up under code LAND, I'd be able to find you on the back end, but no problem at all. It's just it might take longer. All right, Scared Babushka. Let's have a look at the squad. It's a 1 quarterback, 12 team start 8. 1 quarterback, 12 team start 8. Oh, you're good, Tin Man. He says, I plan on signing up soon. No, that's completely fine. Just make sure before you make a purchase, go to my account and make sure in the promo code that it says LAND, L-A-N-D. Matthew, by the way, it's hilarious. He says, if I'm one of the lucky winners for tomorrow's draft, Bree and I are going to create the best Dynasty team of all time. I love that. Okay, start 8, 1 quarterback. So this is not a really big lineup, which is good to know. Now, your team name is Inherited Runners, which I wonder if that means that did you inherit this roster or something? Like, did you orphan it from someone else potentially? Start 8. And you are currently ranked 5th. Tin Man says your promo code is on lock on my PC. I don't know what that means, Tin Man. Do you mean like you have a lock screen that shows land? Like, what do you mean by that? Okay, let's have a look. The site has you ranked 12th at quarterback, 12th at running back, 7th at receiver, 5th at tight end. Now, I can see where the vast majority of your team strength is the draft capital. So obviously we'll keep that in mind because you have a lot of picks to play around with. And you don't have much of a roster right now. So we'll definitely be looking at the war room and coming up with a game plan for your rookie draft, my friend. Draft capital grade is going to be... Okay, this is what's weird. I don't see a 2027 first round pick. So I'm assuming... Man, is Babushka in the chat? I would love to have a conversation with them real fast. The way I'm viewing this is you don't have a first round pick in 2027, which honestly scares me because I don't know how you're going to go from what you have right now, even with all this draft capital, to a contending team straight away. Let me just double check on a different site like KTC, and let me double check that you don't have your first in 27. So on KTC, it also does not show a first in 27. Damn. I mean, look, without your first next year, you don't even have your second next year. You only have your third. I don't see how this isn't a windows open. You have to do everything you can right now to compete. And the team is not in a good place. It's just not. Even in a start 8. I'd probably put you at a D+. And look, I hope that you guys, when you come here for a review, you want honesty and transparency. And I would really not like to be in this guy's position right now with this team. Just going to be honest. Because, yes, he has all this draft capital, but no pick in 2027. And by the way, let me double check that. Does he have a pick in 2028? Because that would be heartbreaking if he doesn't have one in 2028 as well. Let me see if I can find that real fast. In 2028, you don't have your first round pick. No. So you don't have your 27 or your 28 first round pick. Where did those go? I guess it doesn't matter, but the reason you come here, hopefully, to hear my opinion is to get honest, genuine feedback. And genuinely, I don't think this team is in a very good place. Because you don't have a solid foundation. You need to win right now. And you're probably going to be relying on rookies to do so. But it's very rare that, a team full of rookies is going to be a team that leads you to a championship. I mean, it's very rare that ever happens, if ever. Untouchables on this team, the 101 is the closest thing you have to an untouchable. As far as holds, I'd be holding Jaden Higgins on the team. I'd be holding Isaiah Likely as he's going into free agency. If you need to drop anybody, Geno Smith should not be rostered in a one quarterback league. My goodness. Devin Singletary can be let go of. Luke McCaffrey can be let go of. You can let go of Xavier Legette or Tank Dell if you want to. I know Tank Dell's coming back, so you can get rid of Legette if you prefer. But you need to clear a lot of space with all this capital coming in. Your waiver wire. Jordan James is interesting, but I don't think you're going to have space to add any of these players with the amount of picks that you have. Yeah. I mean, look, I like Jordan James. I like Jarquez Hunter. But I really don't... I'm not obsessed with anybody on the waiver wire. You might as well leave the waiver wire a little bit blank there. Okay, so I'm not trying to be Mr. Negative Nancy here. Or Mrs. Negative Nancy, rather. But that was my honest opinion. And now I'm going to do my absolute best to help you build a good team here. All right, so we're going to look at your capital. And we're going to do our absolute best to make a good game plan for your rookie draft. Okay, so at the 101, you're going to grab Jeremiah Love, which you desperately need. Yeah, you desperately need Jeremiah Love. Okay, at the 102, you're going to go one of the big three wide receivers. Okay, that's at the 102. I would say the 102 plus the 104. It's the same plan there if you stick and pick, okay? So we can save some space here. Unfortunately, in a one quarterback league, the 105 is going to be in a different tier, right? So let's say the 105 to the 111. In this range of player, we saw it today between names like Jonah Coleman. We saw a little bit of Sadiq, Concepcion, Boston. That is that range. Again, Boston, Concepcion. I'm probably spelling that wrong. Sadiq, Coleman, Price, Johnson, Surratt, Cooper. That's somewhere in that range. And then go best player available beyond that. Now, what I think you need to do is I think you need to do a little bit of a mix here. I have no problem with you sticking and picking for Jeremiah Love and those receivers. But beyond that, I would really be looking to trade some of these picks for veterans where you can kind of win right now. So those picks at the 105 to the 111, the 203 to the 209. Let me get like a range here real fast of players that I think could make sense. So at running back, for example, if you're able to nab a Breece Hall, a Bucky Irving, Kyron, Brown, Saquon, right? You really need to get a couple guys in there because you have no solid running backs right now. Ken Walker, obviously, Cam Scatteraboo. Ken Walker, Cam Scatteraboo, other names as well that are relatively obvious. And running back is where you're going to need your most help because you're going to get two really good receivers in the draft class. You've already got Zay and Waddle, which is fine. You're going to get Jeremiah Love, but you need a couple guys there to really push you up. And that the 203 to the 209, I would say add veteran flexes, which we can kind of define what that looks like on the chalkboard a little bit more. So when I'm looking at all your picks, again, the 101, 102, and the 104, we're going to draft rookies. However, the 105, the 108, the 109, the 111, and then the 203 to the 209, all of those picks, ideally, I'd love for you to go out there and get a bunch of veterans to really build out the squad. And man, I hate that CJ Stroud is also your starter there. Damn. Yeah, we're going to have to figure out quarterback too, man. It's not impossible. And the hope is that your league doesn't hate the 26 class. Okay. So again, with that 105, we talked about names like Breece Hall. Let's recap here real fast. We talked about names like Breece Hall. We talked about names. If any of these were possible, you do them in a heartbeat. Ken Walker, Breece Hall would be no-brainers, especially in a one quarterback here. We talked about Bucky Irving. Bucky Irving would work here. Chase Brown. Ideally, you get Chase Brown for, let's say, like the 108 plus the 205. Is that what you had? Yeah, the 206, something like that. The 206 or the 204. Ideally you go that route. Like if you can get a combo of both of these, that's really going to help you as well. Let's see. Want to make sure I cover all my ground here. Chase Brown, we talked about. Yeah. And then I think beyond those names, you start to use the 108 and hope that it's got some bait. So let's say the 108 plus a 203, and we go for some of those more veteran names like Saquon. All right, Saquon Barkley comes to mind. Kyron Williams comes to mind. CMC. I mean, yeah, you got to compete right now, man. You can't be too, picky here. Again, looking back at these running backs, I just want to make sure I give you every possible opportunity. Josh Jacobs might be a name that you need to be interested in as well. Let's go Jacobs, Javonte, Etienne. Those are also options that you might need to be interested in. Jacobs, Javonte, Etienne. Okay, so with some of those names, like Jacobs might be a candidate for the 109. People are very low on him, and I understand why, because last year wasn't great. If you can get like a Javonte Williams for the 111 without knowing where he's going in free agency, that's a win. Etienne at the 111 without knowing where he's going, that's a win. Even if you had to add onto either of these, like that 209 that you have to kind of sell it, get the job done, if you will, that would be awesome. If I knew where Etienne and Jacobs were going, I'd be comfortable with the 109. Now, let's just think about this hypothetically. We haven't used any of your second round picks, but let's just think about it hypothetically, okay? Imagine we got Bucky Irving at the 105. We came back and we grabbed Saquon Barkley at the 108 and the 203. And then we got Travis Etienne with the 111. Let's just hypothetically play out that world. Now you have a starting lineup, and this is going to be much easier to deal with now. And this is a hypothetical world. Doesn't mean it's going to work out, but these are the type of deals you need to be pursuing, where you still don't have a starting quarterback, but you've got Jeremiah Love starting for you, Saquon or Bucky. You've got two of the big three receivers in Tyson, Lemon, or Tate. You've also got Zay Flowers and Waddle. You've got Kraft starting. It's only a start running backs as well. That's going to make your life way, way easier, my friend. Way easier. And then you'll actually have a team that you can go out there and compete with. But again, you have got to use these picks right. Next, what we need to really hone in on is finding a quarterback that we feel we can actually compete with. So, out of curiosity, I just wonder what KTC would say about like a Brock Purdy. Like, what would Brock Purdy cost in a one quarterback? Like, could you send like the 202? Okay, so you have the 203. So let's say we use the 203. Let's say the 203 plus the 209 for Brock Purdy, hypothetically, right? If it's not Brock Purdy, I'd love for you to try for a Justin Herbert. I mean, I would pay more for a Jackson Dart even if it has to be like the 203 and the 20. Would you have the 206 or something like that? Would love for you to go buy low on a Jalen Hurts as well for that same price if you can get something like that done. Another name, if you want to go really cheap, you can maybe just like grab Jared Goff for the 206 in a one quarterback league. Right, he's a little bit more safe. Or a Dak Prescott even. Either of those options would work really well for you. But you can't be throwing out, you can't be throwing out CJ Stroud every week. So again, hypothetically, let's play out the world. We have Brock Purdy now starting. This is our starting 8. You ready for this? And I mean, I feel like I'm cooking up right now for Babushka. I think I'm cooking in the chat right now for him. Okay. Brock Purdy, Jeremiah Love, Bucky Irving. At receiver, we're starting Carnell Tate and Zay Flowers. Tucker Kraft at tight end. And then we are flexing Saquon Barkley and Travis Etienne. And on our bench, we have Jalen Waddle, Michael Pittman, Jaden Higgins. Boom. Mic drop. All right. You want a team review? You got a team review. Yeah. And that's how in less than 20 minutes or however long it took, we fixed your team. So I appreciate you letting me look at the squad. I'm sorry I gave you the D+. I hate doing that. But it was honest to God my opinion of the team. And I hope that it is helpful ultimately. Just know that you will get your team playbook customized to everything that we talked about today within 3 to 4 business days. So you can look out for that. It will be on the message tab on the Flock Fantasy site. But I appreciate you, man. Thanks for letting me look at the squad. And I had fun. I mean, at first I was overwhelmed, but then I was like, yeah, no, let's just have fun with this one. 10 Man says, just signed up with the code LAND. All right, let's have a look and see if I can find you on the back end. Let's see if I can find you here, 10 Man. Can I find the lad? Okay, yes. I see you on a trial. So let me give you that voucher here. All right, let me give you a team review voucher here, my friend. That voucher should be in your account now. But yeah, you should have access to that now, my dude. All right, Dan, what is up? Dan says the pick would be, this is a trade question from Dan. Appreciate you being here, Dan. He says the pick would be an early second in 2027. So he would be sending away a second and Sam Darnold for Goff and Sutton. I mean, it's a super flex league. To be honest, like, I might consider a second and Darnold for Goff straight up. So I'm definitely not opposed to this. Darnold, while he won an MVP, was not a player that you could reliably start this year. He had under 15 points per game. He was good, but the defense was incredible. And they really didn't need to throw that much this year. I think that's their formula for next year as well. So I don't really have a problem with this personally. Now, could you get something other than Sutton? I mean, that's only you would know that. Like, I'd rather it be a Benson or a Monangai. But if it's not, Sutton's a fine price there. I don't mind paying this price and going out and get Goff, who has been one of the more reliable guys in most recent years. 17 points per game in 2023, but since that, I mean, he's been very, very reliable in a great offense. So, Dan, I personally don't have any problem with the Goff trade. I think that's a good move for you, my friend. All right, guys. Just got a review there from Chief Bigfoot. Well, actually, we just jumped into a rookie draft on FastDraft, so I wanna do that for a second if that's cool. Let's jump into an Origins tourney. Let's have a look here. All right, I am at the 5 spot. Is anybody in this draft with me? Mike is always over there on FastDraft. No, Mike's not in this one. If you don't know, FastDraft is the only place where you can draft real rookies for real money. I'm over here drafting. You can obviously draft with me. Use the promo code LAND at sign up. I'll match your deposit up to $50. And we can draft together, as I'm drafting with a lot of the community pretty consistently over here. Okay. Jeremiah Love off the board. Then Mendoza, Lemon, Tate. And yeah, I mean, I feel like I have to kind of take Jordan Tyson there. Doesn't really make sense to take another player, I don't think. Mike says, I didn't know you were joining one. Surprise, surprise. Yep. You just have to assume at this point that I'm in a draft. At this point, you have to assume that I'm in an Origins tourney or a Rabbit tourney. All right. Boston off the board. Coleman, Sadiq. You know, a player that I don't really have much stock of at all is Emmett Johnson. I'd be curious to know where you guys sit on Emmett Johnson, but what I can't understand is he's got Nick Singleton. I don't get it. I don't get why Nick Singleton is so high in ADP on all these contests. I genuinely don't understand. Okay. I'll grab my boy Elijah Surratt here. We're going to start double wide receiver. Maybe Ty Simpson would have been the better play, but This is a season-long contest, so it's total points from weeks 1 to 17. And I just am not convinced that Ty Simpson's going to be a starter in the first 3 weeks of the season. Now, here's the thing. If you want to get into one of these tourneys, I would really suggest you get in earlier rather than later. And the reason I say that is because a name like Omar Cooper, that's a guy I was drafting in like the 4th round in January. The 4th or 5th round in January. So I would really suggest, if you're trying to get into an Origins draft with me, now is the time to take advantage of the ADP while people are really still not sure of this class. I'll put a link in the chat if you want to draft with me. And again, I'll match your deposit up to $50 with the code LAND, and you'll get my rookie report free. Ty Simpson, Katrin Allen, Chris Brazel. Y'all know who I want next. I got a name in mind here. 3rd round reversal, by the way. So this is teammate drafting here. Dante Moore. Oh my gosh. Jeremy Bernard comes off the board. Someone please take Nick Singleton. That ADP is out of whack for sure. Jacoby Lane is not a bad pick. I'm going to grab Eli Stowers. It was between Eli Stowers and Antonio Williams. I love both of them. But Stowers looks like one hell of a prospect. I haven't dove into his profile enough yet to speak too highly on him, but he looks like one hell of a prospect. Nussie is off the board. Then finally we get Nick Singleton. Here's the funny part about Nick Singleton. Is anybody who's a Nick Singleton guy, the first thing they're going to say, watch. All right, if you find someone out there who's a Nick Singleton person, ask them to sell you on Nick Singleton. And I promise you, they are not going to be able to not mention his freshman year. Anytime the first thing you mention about a prospect is what they did 3 years ago, 4 years ago, it's a problem. It's a problem for me, at least. Well, he was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school. Well, look at what he did as a true freshman. Yeah, that's okay. What has he done in the past 3 years, though? And anyone who's a Singleton guy is probably going to be stuck there. Yeah, I think Justice Haynes is there and Trinidad are there right now. So you got to be careful. Make sure you're not drafting some guys that aren't even in the class. Chris Bell's an interesting one. Because in a tourney like this, I just don't think there's a point that it makes sense to draft him. Again, it's total points from weeks 1 to 17. And coming off that ACL, I don't really know if he's going to be available. This has worked out perfectly because my favorite sleeper running back is available. Damon Claiborne. Welcome to the squad, my friend. Welcome to the squad. Eric Singleton off the board, which I think he went back. Malachi Fields, I mean, we saw... Who was it that put Malachi Fields in the first round of a mock draft? Was it Lance Zierlein? I can't remember who it was. But that was a big shock to me. I did not expect him to see Malachi Fields that high. Andrew says, would you take a crack at acquiring Marks or Harvey? Depends on with the price. I don't think you can sell Woody Marks for pretty much anything right now. Harvey, I've found it really difficult to sell. I guess it just really kind of comes down to, you know, your opinion. All right. Skylar Bell went, unfortunately. Skylar Bell was definitely my pick. So we're going to switch it up. And we're going to grab Le'Veon Moss here in the 5th. But Tin Man, are you cool if I do your review tomorrow night? I'm probably going to log off after this Origins tourney for the day. But that would make you the first person on tomorrow night's stream. Oh, well, if we've got some reviews rolling in. Actually, if you guys are going to support, I mean, I'll stay on. Adam Randall comes off the board. He was a big name at the Senior Bowl. I might hold yours till tomorrow night, Tin Man, but I'll definitely get to this paid one here tonight from Colin. If Colin's in the chat, let me know if you're in the chat, Colin. Otherwise, we can do Colin's tomorrow night as well. But last pick here. I don't really want to waste a pick on like a Carson Beck or something, but... Ooh, I know what I'm going to do. Yes, sir. We're going to grab CJ if it's possible. And it is. Taylon Green just went off the board. I've heard some rumors of Taylon Green love in the space. I'll grab CJ Daniels there. One of my favorite sleeper receivers in the class. There wasn't anyone else that really, stood out to me personally. But again, love jumping in these drafts with y'all. If you've never downloaded the FastDraft app, download it. Use the code LAND at sign up. I'll match your deposit up to $50, and then we can jump into some drafts together. Okay. Is Chet Holmgren in the chat? Do we have Chet Holmgren here? I'll hold Chief Bigfoots till tomorrow night stream, but you're totally okay, Tin Man. You're totally okay. No stress at all. I appreciate the support no matter what. Let's do Chet Holmgren here. This is a Superflex 10-team start 10, by the way, and I can actually update our 40 in a week Feb. If you guys don't know, I had started an initiative this week called 40 in a week Feb. The goal initially was to get 40 annual Mother Flocker members in a single week. And if we do, I'm going to show you guys a hairline reveal. I've actually extended that to not only, because a lot of people are like, Zach, I don't know how to contribute because I'm already a member, So I actually extended it to annual Mother Flocker memberships as well as team playbooks. And I can tell you we're currently in this week, we're currently at 16. And how many days do we have left? Well, 21st. The 21st is the last day. So probably not going to get there, but we're getting close. We're getting close. All right. Let's have a look at Chet Holmgren here. This is number 622. So it is a Superflex league. Last team that we did was a one quarterback league. They hit the second Bauer is the team name, which is a classic, but also crazy on you, Chet Holmgren. I mean, you're a public figure at this point. All right, Superflex 10-team start 10. There is a tight end premium there. That is our middle ground. So you can either start 3 receivers and 2 flex spots, or 3 flex spots and 2 receivers. But let's have a look at the squad. He says, top team is my competition this year. Give me options to compete. Willing to trade all but Gibbs, Bowers, and Herbert. So currently you are ranked number 2 on the site. And the site has your quarterbacks at 1, your running backs at 3, your receivers at 10, and your tight ends at 1. From a draft capital perspective, you've got the 101, the 102, and a 27 first. I don't mind that. I know I was pretty harsh on the previous team, but I don't mind that because those are all impactful picks. And you've also got a really good team already that you're adding to. You're not banking on this class or one single class to really be the meat of your team, if you will. So definitely like what you've got here to work with, and it's going to make my life easier looking at this team for sure. Okay. So we've got Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Herbert's on the bench, or maybe we're starting him. We've got Gibbs and Bucky. I love the combo of Brooks and Caleb just sitting there on the bench. Then we're starting Ladd and Brian Thomas, Bowers. It's a start 10, so we need to start 3 more names. Those 3 more names are going to be Jeremiah Love, whatever you do at the 102, and Terry McLaurin. So from a perspective of depth, you're certainly a little bit shy on the depth front. Untouchables on this team: Josh Allen, Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, honestly, you could add Brock Bowers here and the 101. In a tight end premium, in a small league, that onesie position is going to help you a lot. As far as holds, Jonathan Brooks and Caleb Johnson are strong holds for me. I'm not sending them away in any leagues I have them. If you want to make some drops, there's no real drops that I could say here, but this does make your waiver wire really intriguing to me. Like Jalen Noel being out there, Mark Andrews, even Sam Darnold, Kamani Vidal. You've got quite a few interesting names on the waiver wire. And I feel like what we should do is we should sell either Mahomes or Herbert to improve depth at running back or receiver to kind of give ourselves a little bit more flexibility. And then we go to the waiver wire and we go hard on one of those 3 quarterbacks available in Darnold, Jones, and Murray. So I think we've got a very clear plan. Draft capital grade, I'm going to give you an A flat there because while you don't have a lot, you have really impactful amount of picks. And overall team grade, it's a pretty good team. It's just the depth that's lacking. So personally, I'd probably give you a B+. And that's just because of the depth that you're currently missing. And I definitely think you're a strong contender. There's no doubt about it in my mind. Strong contender, B+. I'm a big fan of this team, honestly. And we've got plenty of flexibility as well. All right, let's jump to the chalkboard and let's talk about how to use those picks that you've got. You've got the 101 and the 102. So obviously we're going to add Jeremiah Love. At the 102, you're going to add one of the big 3 wide receivers. You don't need Mendoza on a team like this. And I would argue that you shouldn't really trade the 101. I think you just need to grab Jeremiah Love. You kind of need one of those pillar running backs on your team. However, if you're going to move the 102, then we can trade back to the 103 to the 104. The reason I don't want to go further is because clearly quarterback is not as valuable in your league when you look at the waiver wire with Darnold, Jones, and Murray there. So I don't think people are going to be taking Mendoza this high, and you definitely don't need another quarterback. So as long as you're in range for one of those big 3 receivers, we're completely fine. That's Mekhi Lemon, Jordan Tyson, and Cardinal Tate. But why don't we look at those teams that have the 103 and the 104 and try and come up with some trade ideas to see, is there a plus on top here that you can get for moving down. So the 103 is the guy that you're competing with at the top. I don't imagine there's probably a deal to be made here. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get Bijan or Genty or one of the top 6 receivers he has. The most you could probably net is Travis Hunter. And there's plenty of risk there, but I'm willing to take the step down if he just wants to add a particular name. But yeah, that's not going to be a great partner, unfortunately, for you. Who has the 104? The 104 is here. This could make more sense. So we can go down to the 104 for... If there's a way we could grab Ibuka, and it's not going to be straight up that you'd get Ibuka there, or Josh Jacobs, I think it could be well worth your time. Yeah. I'd also do it for the 107. If you can then use the 107 in a different trade. You might even be able to do that one straight up, or the Jacobs one straight up, depending on how much he likes whatever player ends up at the 102. But in order to get Igbokwe, we have to be reasonable. You need to give something back. I mean, I'd be more than comfortable to throw Terry McLaurin his way. Whether he would be willing to do that or not is a different question. Does he need quarterback? He does need quarterback. Could this be the team that we send Patrick Mahomes to and we make this an even bigger deal? So Patrick Mahomes, but we're going to need a lot more in return then. So we're also going to ask for Chris Olave here. Yeah. Chris Olave, yeah. I think that makes sense there. Superflex league, he gets Mahomes in the 102, you get the 104 Igbokwe Olave. I mean, that would be an awesome trade for you. Because then you still have Allen and Herbert. You've got, at that point, Gibbs, Love, Bucky. Then you've got Igbokwe, Olave, Lad, Bryant. I mean, that's probably the best trade so far, pretty easily. Jacobs isn't unreasonable. I mean, maybe you could throw back, Jaden Reed or Josh Downs if he wants a little something back in return. But Jacobs is not a very popular player right now. He's a relatively easy player to acquire. Delusional Vikings fan says, I'll be damned if someone sends a 103 plus 100 move up one spot. Yeah, again, that's something that you would do in the rookie draft. And it comes down to how you view Travis Hunter. Right now, with the reports about him playing primarily cornerback this year, we talked about this a lot earlier in the stream, but you go look at all the real trades happening in real leagues, which there's plenty of databases that will show you that. The Flock site is one of those databases. You will see people trading him for mid-seconds, late seconds, multiple thirds. He's probably like the number one most panicked player in the entire Dynasty community outside of like Rashee Rice today. So it's going to depend on your league and it's going to depend on the owner. But it certainly is happening in some leagues. Doesn't mean it's happening in every league. And every league is different. All right, I think we got a pretty good plan for your rookie draft. And again, I think I want to explore the idea of trading Patrick Mahomes or Justin Herbert. I'll just say Justin Herbert is interchangeable in deals. I know you said that you didn't want to trade Justin Herbert, so I'm just trying to give you every option that you have here, right? But again, and I would say after a quarterback trade is made, go hard after these quarterbacks on the waiver wire. And I'll put them in order of my preference. Darnold, Jones, Murray. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm fine with any of them. I would have Darnold ranked the highest, then Jones, then Murray. But to be fair, I could, if they're all starters in 2026, I could probably see Kyler Murray outscoring those three. But let's see if we can move Patrick Mahomes. I would love to see like equivalent values on KTC just as a quick reference point. Where's Mahomes at? Mahomes, so like a McMillan. Some of this is unrealistic, but McMillan, London. Let's find the teams that are quarterback needy first. I think they're on waivers, Mike, because it's a 10-team league. I think it's because it's a 10-team league. Okay, again, let's find quarterback needy teams. The guy who has Bryce and Jared. Could we get Justin Jefferson? I mean, right now, Justin Jefferson, people are very worried about, and I understand why. But that would be an awesome swap. If it's possible, I'm sure he doesn't want two Vikings on his team, so he might be a little bit vulnerable. This guy has one quarterback. I mean, you're not going to get a Mon-Ra. Yeah, you're not going to get a Mon-Ra, unfortunately. I was trying to think if there's like a way we can wiggle here, but no, that's not going to work. Yeah, I don't see that working, unfortunately. Dart and Ward. I like McMillan, but I would need more than McMillan, and I don't think they're going to want to do that. Could you do a 2 for 2, maybe? No. Nope, not going to work, unfortunately. Tyler Shuck and Malik Willis. I mean, this guy really is ideal. I mean, clearly, if you can get Devon to Achane, you do it in a heartbeat. I don't think that's possible, but there's no harm in sending the offer. Now, what I think is Chris Olave is much more realistic, but you probably want the 104 as well. And then you'll send like Mahomes and Terry McLaurin or something. That seems reasonable. Let me just work that out in my head. Again, Superflex League. Mahomes and McLaurin for Olave, because Mahomes is probably going ahead of Olave in most drafts. It's going to come down to how they view Mahomes. I actually think that gets declined in most leagues based off of what I've seen. Yeah. Okay, maybe that wouldn't work, but again, it's an option. Unfortunately, it's like unfortunate and it's fortunate. Your league doesn't value quarterback as much as most leagues would in Superflex. Nope, that guy doesn't need quarterback. This guy's got Purdy and Daniels. So your options are unfortunately a little bit limited. I think the team with Justin Jefferson is your best bet there. Now, if you need to add something, you can add a Jaden Reed if you can get back Jefferson and, let's just say you ask back for the 301 or something. Or you could even do like a future, like a pick swap where, you get a second, but you send them a third in the future. But yeah, hopefully that's helpful. In an ideal world, again, you land Jeremiah Love, you get one of the big 3 receivers, and then you flip Mahomes. I still like the Egbuka Olave deal the best for you. But I appreciate you big time, Chet Holmgren, one of my favorite players in the NFL, by the way. Thanks for showing some love and being here with me. Let's get rid of that war room. Let's answer this trade question, and then Chef Bigfoot, again, I promise you we'll do yours tomorrow night on the stream. I 100,000% promise you we'll get to it on tomorrow night's stream. All right, so this is wow, what a blockbuster. Big Sty is sending away May, Judkins, Higgins, Harris, Williams, and Tonjes. And getting back Achane, Burrow, and a 2027 first. I love Drake May. I can't think of a single reason why you wouldn't take this trade. Truthfully, if you removed the first round pick entirely from the equation, like let's remove Tonjes, let's remove Trey Harris, Kyle Williams. Those guys are not making a big impact in a blockbuster deal like this. They are just pieces. They are bodies. They're warm bodies. They're good players, but they're warm bodies in a deal like this. I don't even think that like Jaden Higgins plays a part. So to be transparent with you, I probably would have accepted the trade if I didn't even get the first round pick back. The fact that you're also getting a first round pick back, it seems like an absolute no-brainer to take Burrow and Achane here. I mean, that is a legendary fleece. And I think you should take it if it's available right now. Guys, that's it for today. I appreciate y'all big time being here. Thanks for showing some love. I'll be live tomorrow. We'll do top 50 wide receiver, Dynasty wide receiver rankings. We'll go through some playbooks. So it's a good time to submit now if you got a team review you want to get done. And then also, don't forget, tomorrow we will be raffling off spots for the Poseidon League for land members. So make sure you're signing up. By the way, if you end up signing up and, you know, a big sell for you was one of the leagues and you're not in the league already, DM me. I want to make sure I fast track you into one of these leagues so you can be a part of the community that way as well.